And then for our last segment today, we're going to talk about the NFC South. In my opinion, the NFC West is probably the worst division in the NFL. Now, does that mean they are not interesting? No, because bad does not mean boring. That is something I've learned watching the Bears last year. They were bad, but they were not boring. And I'll keep that in mind for this year when they're also probably bad. But the NFC South, I think it's very interesting to look at the NFC South and predict a winner because honestly, you could make an argument for 3 out of these 4 teams to win the division. I don't think Tampa has much of an argument, unfortunately, but Tampa did win the Super Bowl a few years ago. Vastly different team, I understand, but I think you can make an argument for 3 of these teams to win win the division, not the Super Bowl, not even close. I'm going to start with my pick to win the division, as I normally do, and that's going to be, drum roll, the Carolina Panthers. I think the Carolina Panthers have the best odds of any team in this division to win the division. The reason I say that is because Bryce Young obviously is going to be a high impact player even in his first season. I love the hiring of Frank Reich. I think that that's going to pair very well with Bryce Young. The thing with Bryce Young is a guy, he needs a good offensive line because of his build, his stature. I don't think Bryce Young needs really elite receivers to be good. Look at Alabama last year. Their receivers were not great. Their receivers were really not that good. I challenge any of you to tell me who their starting receivers were. I know who they are because I watched every single game last year, but for the average fan of NFL and college football, you probably couldn't tell me who Alabama's starting receivers were, right? So there's that. And then on top of that, I think the Panthers' young defense is very talented. Brian Burns is really good. J.C. Horn is really good. I love Jeremy Chin as well. They have some pieces on that defense. I think that could be really, really nice, paired with that now offense featuring Bryce Young, and I like Jonathan Mingo as well in the second round, and that good offensive line. And to be completely honest, I am not a huge fan of Arthur Smith. I don't think that he's a great coach. I've never been really impressed with Arthur Smith, but I do think their offensive line is good. They're going to be able to run the shit out of the football. They're going to win some games they probably shouldn't just because they're probably going to have 45 minutes of possession time. They're just going to run the absolute shit out of the football. Defensively speaking, they're still bad, but I think they're getting a little bit better. The additions of Jeff Okudah and Jesse Bates in the secondary will make the secondary, I think, at least respectable. And then Calais Campbell, while he's definitely not in his prime, he's going to make that defensive line just a little bit better as well. I have them going 8-9, second in the division. I think it's going to be a tight race all year. But I think at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, Desmond Ridder just is not able to get it done. I don't have a lot of faith in him, unfortunately, and I think the Falcons will suffer because of it. Now let's head to the third place team in the division, also going 8-9 in my opinion. That's going to be the New Orleans Saints, led by new quarterback Derek Carr. I think they're going to be just the definition of mediocre. I've been seeing a lot of people say the Saints, our dark horse Super Bowl team, and they're going to go 12-5. And I'm like, what are you people smoking? Like, what are you watching? Have you seen Dennis Allen coach? Have you seen Michael Thomas the last year? What is going on? Now, do they have a good receiving core? Yeah, I like their receiving core. And I like their running back room if Alvin Kamara plays. But their offensive line isn't great. They lost Terron Armstead to the Dolphins last year. I don't love oh God, what's the guy's name from Northwestern? I'm thinking of the tackle. It's late. Give me a break. But I don't love that. Their defense is getting much older. I think Marcus Lattimore's still good. But they just have a lot of guys on that defense that I think are getting older. Demario Davis is getting older. Cameron Jordan getting older. They lost Marcus Davenport in free agency. So I don't know how good the Saints team is going to be. I really don't. I don't love Dennis Allen at all. I think he's one of the league's worst coaches, to be honest with you. And I don't think the Saints are going to be able to do much of all. Will Derek Carr probably win in some games, and will he be a significant improvement over Andy Dalton? Yeah, that's fair. Will he be able to take the Saints team to the playoffs, win the division? Maybe. Are they going to win a playoff game? No. I don't know. This division to me is just kind of a lot of mediocrity. Whatever mediocre cream rises to the crop in this division, they're not going to go very far. The Saints are no exception. I don't think that they're going to be very good this year. Saints fans are going to be mad at me in the comments. I already know it, but I'm sorry. In my opinion, the two most important things for a team, personnel-wise, coach and quarterback. Their quarterback is average, and their coach is bad. That's, to me, just not a good recipe. Their defense isn't elite enough to overcompensate those two like it's been with the 49ers, with Jimmy Garoppolo. So I just don't have a lot of faith in the Saints. And I know people are going to flame my ass and they're going to say, oh, I don't know. Just prove me wrong, I guess. I don't know. And then the last team in the division, and probably the last team in the NFL this season, in my opinion, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are experiencing a similar Super Bowl hangover from what the Rams were, but the reason for this hangover is not an overnight one. It is the departure of Tom Brady. Tom Brady took the team with him when he left, I guess, because this team is going to look atrocious. They signed Baker Mayfield to compete with Kyle Trask for the starting job this season. That says it itself. I can end the video right here. That says it itself. Their defense is much older, much less good, much worse than it was when they won the Super Bowl. Their receiving room is also getting older. Mike Evans, I think, is still good, but I don't know if he's going to have a good quarterback to throw him the ball to get to consistently. Their offensive line is bad last year. I mean, what am I supposed to like about this team? Todd Bowles, if there's a worse coach in the NFL than Dennis Allen, it's probably Todd Bowles. You know what I'm saying? So they're just bad all the way around. They really don't have a lot to look forward to in this season. What they should look forward to in this season, if I was a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, let me tell you what I would be doing every single weekend this season. I'd be turning on my damn TV on Saturdays to the Pac-12, and I would watch USC, and I would pray to God that we are able to land Caleb Williams. This would be my weekend routine. On Saturdays, I would watch USC, and on Sunday mornings, I'd go to church and pray that the Buccaneers could land Caleb Williams. That is exactly what I would do if I was a Buccaneers fan this season. That's about all you have to look forward to. If this season ends with the Buccaneers being the worst team in the NFL and getting the first overall pick, it is a success, I promise you. I promise you. So, the Buccaneers are going to be last in the division. I have them going 3-14. Nothing good really this year. Nothing really great to look forward to except for Caleb Williams and for that tank job. So, hope you guys enjoyed this podcast episode. I'm gonna holla at you tomorrow for tomorrow's videos, and I hope you have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I need to go to bed.